Alright, welcome back. I've been MIG welding all day, so I look pretty fugly right now. But today is a new day and we're gonna get some work done. In the last event that we went to, I found some stuff that needed adjusting, so today we're gonna go ahead and do that. Especially with the new turbo, we're gonna have to cut out the hood. We're also gonna have to adjust the seat, just push it forward like a notch, as well as do an alignment on the car. I want to adjust the toe a bit. I want to push it in a little bit. We're also going to be adjusting the tune for the car because last event we definitely had problems with acceleration enrichment. Every time I'd give it throttle, it would just be dumping way too much fuel. I could feel it. I'd give it full throttle and I'd have to wait like a second or two for the boost to actually start kicking in. And I don't think it was. I think the turbo played some part in it, but I think it was also the fact that it was just dumping way too much fuel, as well as I'm going to also try to adjust the idle. It's just to drop it down a little bit. Idle's around 1400 right now, but I'm going to drop it down to about hopefully I can get it down to 1000. So yeah. Oh, and don't pay attention to any of this. This is just my hoarding tendencies kicking in. No, actually, I sold the blue toolbox that I had, and I actually went ahead and ordered a Harbor Freight toolbox, just a topper for this one. But I didn't know when you go in store to pick one up, they actually don't have it in stock. They have to get it delivered from their warehouse. So I guess they're gonna give me a call. So we'll see how long that takes. But yeah, for the meantime, since I already sold the box, I just got on my tools resting on this plastic table. That looks like it's on the verge of breaking. So hopefully the table holds, and at least for a week or so, until we can get the new toolbox and get everything organized, because that's one thing that I've been meaning to do for a while now, is organize my messy ass garage. One thing I'm really excited about are these tires here. There are Valino Grivas 08Ds. The size is 235/40/17. These tires have more tread depth than than just the standard run-of-the-mill stuff, as well as they were supposedly built with drifters in mind, and these are drifting tires, which I don't really know what that means, but hopefully it's a longevity thing. Tires are getting really expensive nowadays, so these are definitely expensive. I forgot exactly how much they cost me. They might have been like 200 something, but if they last a long time, they might just be worth it. So I'm really excited to test these out, and I'm looking forward to taking them to the track and seeing how they do. I'm also kind of thinking about doing some kind of tire sprayer system. I had one back in the day, but I think the reservoir was too small for the one that I was using. So if I was to do something like that, I'd probably make some kind of aluminum housing, and just connect all the sprayer systems for just these tires in the rear. And if I end up doing something like that, I'll definitely make a video on it and test it out and see whether or not having some kind of water spray system for the rear tires, if it'd make them last longer. Because if it did, that'd be pretty cool, because like I said, tires are really expensive right now. I can't find any cheap ones anywhere, really. Alright, I got it all marked out, so let's go ahead and cut this one, and then we'll check this one out and see if that one clears. Sketchy. Alright, I think this is the worst designed seat bracket of all time right here. Flashlight's dying. But, so these are the bolts right here. This piece right here is where we're going to slide forward just one notch. So we're going to do that. Unscrew these bolts. Move this forward. Bolt everything back up. And put the seat back in the car. And hopefully it's comfortable. So now that the seat is put back in and it's adjusted, we can now move on to the alignment. So as you can see, I got the alignment set up here. It's just a basic string alignment. I have two pieces of PVC pipe, one in the front, one in the back. They're cut and notched at the same exact points, and I have some strings with some weights running across both sides. There's one side, here's the other side. It's just the basic alignment. There's actually a really good video by FCP Euro. I'm sure if you look up how to do an alignment, that'll be the first one that pops up, how to do a string alignment, and it's clear and concise. So that's kind of what I use as my reference to do this one. I have just to get everything set up. First of all, I put the front wheels under pieces of cardboard just to allow them to move as I adjust them easily, as well as I locked the steering wheel. I don't know if you can see that clearly, but I just used a ratchet strap to tie the steering wheel down just to prevent it from moving. And now that I did that, I already went ahead and adjusted both sides to make them even and parallel with the car. The only thing I had to do for that was get a ruler. Let me grab one. The only thing I had to do here was just get a ruler and make sure that the back is the same distance on both sides, as well as the front wheels relative to each other are the exact same measurement. Once you have both the back wheels and the front wheels equaling each other in length, apart from the string here, then you know that everything is square. So I already went ahead and did that, just because it takes a while because you have to move it back and forth. It's kind of tedious. But now that we have that, we can go ahead and start setting the front toe. All right, here's my crude drawing for the front toe. So this is facing up, so this is facing the front of the car, and this is like a top-down view of the front wheels. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to measure the front of the wheel, measure the back on both sides at the same spots. We'll do it off the rim, just get a more accurate measurement. The tire, if you do it off the tire, it's most of the time it's just finicky. It's not as good as just off the metal from the rim. Last time at the previous event, I went ahead and set everything up for 4 millimeters of total toe. That's the old number here, which turned out to be about 5/32 of an inch, which I think might have been excessive. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to cut that in half, and the new total toe that I'm aiming for is 2 millimeters, which should equal roughly 5/64, which is it's just a little larger than a 1/16 of an inch, which I think should work out a lot better for us. So what I'm going to do now is measure both the front and back of both wheels, and then from there everything's already straight. The wheels, where I want it to be. So we're going to get those measurements, and then we're going to adjust it and try to get this side, the distance between the top and the bottom, to equal 1 millimeter. More specifically, I want the bottom number to be 1 millimeter larger than the top number. That way we know that the wheels are going to be towed out, because we want it to be towed out 2 millimeters, not towed in. So we're going to aim for the bottom number to be larger than the top number by 1 millimeter on both sides. If that's confusing, that's because, so let's say a string is right here. So if we want toe out and the string is just right here parallel to the wheel, since the wheel is going to be towed out, that means the number at the top is going to be smaller, since the distance from the wheel to the string is going to be shorter than the distance from the back of the wheel to the string. So we're going to aim for a 1 millimeter difference. We're going to try to get 1 millimeter smaller number on the top as opposed to the bottom. Doesn't matter what the number is, as long as it's 1 millimeter smaller at the top, both sides. So we're going to do that, and then the difference between both these numbers should add up to 2 millimeters, which is our new goal. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so now we got everything lined up. So if you didn't see it, I was checking the points at the front of the wheel right here, just at the rim, the front and the rear of the rim. I was just raising up the ruler until it touched the string. Did that on both sides. And to adjust the toe, I'm sure you guys all know, it's hard to see, but you use the tie rod ends to push the front of the wheel in and out, and that adjusts toe. So I'm sure you guys all know that. But if we look over at the graph here, these are my measurements, my new ones. So I have 10.9 centimeters at the top, 11 centimeters at the bottom, roughly. Same thing on the other side, 10.9 and 11, which if you take the difference of both of these, let's say this one, you get 1 millimeter difference between top and bottom. 1 millimeter difference between top and bottom. Again, top is smaller than the bottom. So 1 millimeter, that makes our total toe 2 millimeters. So now we have our toe adjusted. I already adjusted everything previously, so this is kind of just my main focus is toe. Because when we were at the track, the car felt a little too squirrely, which having excessive toe out can do that. It can make the car maybe a little, like, it makes it too snappy. So hopefully by dividing our old number by 2, cutting it in half, this will work a lot better for us. But that should cover the alignment for today. Complicated, but I think I made it overly complicated. It's hard to simplify these things, but it's actually pretty easy. All right, cool. So now that we have the alignment done of the car, we got the toe adjusted. The only thing I can think of that we have left to do is to just mess around with the tune, adjust the idle a bit, and adjust the acceleration enrichment. But I'm going to do that tomorrow because it's currently 4:30 in the morning. It's pretty damn late or early. So yeah, the car's really loud. So cut to tomorrow. All right, so for the last bit of the video here, we'll be discussing the tune. I already went ahead and spoke with the tuner that I previously mentioned, and this is what he had to say. These are his recommendations. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the camera around and we can look at the actual tune, and we can take a look at some of the adjustments. So before, what we had was the amount of fuel that was added previously was significantly more than what it is now. I already went ahead and made the adjustments. But just to show you guys, I adjusted everything down to what he recommended, which is significantly lower. So now we're going to be applying less fuel on acceleration, as well as I made some slight modifications to the TPS dot threshold and the acceleration time as per recommendations. I also made some adjustments to the let's see if I can find it here, to the idle control, more specifically the pulse width, the PWM duty cycle. I just went ahead and lowered the pulse width at optimal coolant temperatures, which is 160, 190, 200, anything up here. I lowered the numbers, so now we can go ahead and start the car and see if we can get it to idle just a little better. So these are pretty much all the adjustments I made so far. They're slight, but they should hopefully help us out when we hit the track pretty soon here. The rest, I'm kind of planning on just leaving how it is, and speaking with the tuner again and seeing if we can get him to help me with the idle if I'm having trouble, as well as seeing if there's any way we can log the data and then send it over to him. Then he can make the tunes to the fuel map, because as he said as well, the fuel map could use some correcting. But I think for now it'll be fine, hopefully. So let's go ahead and start up the car and see how it sounds. Alright, so while we had the car idling here, I went ahead and decided to bleed the cooling system and just check it. Right there I was just checking the temperatures of the upper and lower rad hoses and just some other bits around. I just wanted to make sure that we were staying at around 200 degrees Fahrenheit, that we weren't going over or anything like that. And it's also hard to tell, but the idle did drop below 1,000, so it backfires a bit, so I think I'll still need to dial it in, but it is an improvement. Yeah, if you didn't see that, that was a quick little backfire shot, shot some flames. I thought it was pretty cool. And here we are. So what I'm doing now is I'm pulling the e-brake handle off, because we're going to go ahead and cut it, and we're going to weld in an extension piece to it, just because I feel like it's a bit too short. So that's what we're doing here. Here's both pieces. I actually have two of the same handles. One of them came off my sim rig. For some reason, I think the USB connector popped off, something like that, and instead of just throwing it away, I decided to make use of it and went ahead and used it for the extension. That's what it's gonna look like. So here I'm just painting, or I'm stripping some of the paint off the handle, and then I went ahead and beveled the edges a bit, just so we could hopefully get a bit more penetration. And then I welded it out. I actually could have used a little bit more heat on this one. I noticed when I put everything back together, there was a bump to it, so I feel like I could have just used a little bit more heat and really melted it in there. But I think I actually painted it too, and I think it came out pretty good. If you notice, I got a new box. I don't know if you see that. So a new box showed up, which is pretty lit. I got the bottom piece too. And if anybody lives in the Sacramento area and they're looking for a toolbox, got one for sale. Hit me up, holla at me. But yeah, this was a pretty relaxed video. There wasn't a lot to do. I ended up throwing in a couple other things too. I didn't feel like making a separate video for a bunch of small shit, so I clumped all these things up together. And if any of you guys have any topics that you guys think I should cover, feel free to let me know, because I'm just trying to look for more ideas of videos to create here, other than like the drifting journey that we're going on. But I think that does it for today. Please like, favorite, comment, share, heart it, I don't know, all that stuff. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.